Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, it's another absolutely gorgeous day out, although I don't necessarily know if it'll be like this for long. I don't know if you've heard the expression, red sky at night, sailor's delight, and red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. Well, it's a little bit before 6 a.m. right now, and the sky, it's hard to capture on camera. But the sky where the sun is coming up is red. And we can hear some thunder in the background, so I'm assuming we're going to get some showers at some point today. And hopefully we can get through the news before the rain hits. So come along with me on my morning walk and let's talk some news. So first up on the docket, we're talking about PlayStation 2 emulation, not with Play, not with PCSX2, but with Iris. Iris is a very new PS2 emulator on the scene, and it just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, Iris version 0.13 alpha is the latest update. And they say here, family-sized release this time around. After implementing... Now, I don't know if that was a bird or a fish, but I'm hoping the camera caught it there, just a little over my shoulder. Anyways, they say after implementing several user-facing features that should make using Iris more enjoyable, I've decided it was time to bump that version number up a notch. The improvements include a cached EE interpreter for better performance, VU improvements for fixed graphics on a number of games, GS renderer rework, implemented correct fractional coordinate rendering, better graphics, vastly reduced visual artifacts, and UI improvements. And they say here we've also added proper support for screenshots, which are saved to a user configurable directory. I'm not going to lie here, I'm very curious to see where Iris goes from here. It seems this emulator is making improvements in leaps and bounds and improving very quickly. Let me know your thoughts about Iris in the comments below, and if you wanted to learn more about Iris, like everything we talk about, links are in the description below right at the bottom. I don't hide my sources. And speaking about updates, next up we're talking about Proton, and if you're on Linux or if you've got a Steam Deck, well, technically you're on Linux then, and one of these games is of interest to you, you're probably going to be excited about this update. So available now in Proton Experimental, under Now Playable, they've got the Riftbreaker multiplayer playtest, Far Horizon, Grim Fandango Remastered for both AMD and Intel GPUs, and SSR Wives, the Murder of My Winter Crush demo, if that interests you. On top of that, there's a whole bunch of fixes in here, including stuff for DualSense controllers registering touchpad clicks over Bluetooth. And continuing to talk about updates, next up here we're talking about MelonDS on Android, so Nintendo DS emulation on Android. And there is a fork of MelonDS, which we've talked about before, that introduces dual screen compatibility to MelonDS. And anyways, MelonDS dual screen, I guess if you wanted to call it that, just got a brand new update here to version 0.1.0. So this update brings external display stability and layout improvements. And they say here, this release marks a milestone in external display support, improving stability, layout handling, and overall user experience. And a huge thanks to everyone who has tested and provided feedback. Your input has been key to reaching this stage. One of the huge benefits to open source stuff. Now, in terms of new features here, they've added refresh external screen option to quick settings, allowing users to reinitialize the external display if it fails to show up initially. And on top of that, they say this version greatly increases stability and resilience of external display mode, ensuring a valid and usable layout is always available, and adds launcher integration support for smoother use in custom setups. And speaking about external displays, next up here we're talking about two games on one display. This one was posted over on Reddit Emulation on Android, which has a lot of very interesting posts. So anyways, this person says, running two separate Grand Theft Auto 5s at the same time with GameHub and Winlator CMod version 13 on a Red Magic 10 Pro. So not only are they running two different versions of GTA 5, they're running Winlator and GameHub. And taking a look here, in terms of frame rate, it's probably a lot better than you would have imagined. Both of them are getting 20 plus frames per second at the exact same time. Let me know your thoughts about that one. In terms of playing two games like that on one screen, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But would you rather play two instances of Grand Theft Auto 5 at like 25-ish frames per second each? or just one at probably like 40 or 60 frames per second? Let me know your thoughts. And speaking about playing games, next up we're talking about Sony, and we covered this one a while back, maybe about a month or so ago, when Sony initially talked about it a little bit. And now they flat out come out and say it here, and a lot of people now are talking about it. Now this information is up on Twitter. It's been reported by Genki Japan, and like everything we talk about, links are in the description below. And the rain is starting to come down, so I may have to go back to the campsite here. But anyways, they say here, Sony Senior Vice President says they are gradually shifting their gaming business from a hardware-centric business model to a community and engagement-based platform business model. So they say here that Sony is making a shift to creation as a company, as the three segments of games, music, and pictures make up 60% of Sony's total revenue, and shifting from output devices like TVs and to creation devices like digital cameras. Also things like music streaming and music catalogs and Crunchyroll, and teaming up with Bandai Namco to create new entertainment and IP. In the gaming business, the shift towards a platform business is increasing. And for those wondering right now, it is raining a little bit. The bugs are still out here. But take a look at this view. I mean, first thing in the morning here, this is absolutely gorgeous. This is currently what I'm looking at. You can see the rain on the water there. The sun is trying to come out. Absolutely freaking gorgeous day. I wish you were here. Now, it is worth noting here, this was taken, I would say, a little bit out of context. Anyways, it's worth noting that this doesn't mean Sony will stop making console hardware anytime soon, but they say they will increase focus and investment on the platform business model going forward. Now, there are a lot of reactions out there about people saying Nintendo won. Nintendo has beaten Xbox and PlayStation, and that PlayStation is dead and PlayStation is copying Xbox, and a whole lot of very interesting and hot takes. Now, it's worth noting here that I'm not making excuses for Sony. I'm not defending Sony. I'm not a Sony fanboy or anything like that. All I'm saying here is that I don't necessarily think Sony is completely done and out of the game. I don't think Nintendo has won. Taking a look at the overall picture, I'm assuming here that Sony has realized that Microsoft's business model is probably very profitable and probably want to become less exclusive on their platforms. Who knows here, but having games on other platforms like PC, and maybe their measured success of the PC platform, has really got them changing the ways that they're going to work. And for reference here, I know I'm a little bit washed out, or dark rather, not washed out, the exact opposite. Anyways, the sun is rising right there. Absolutely gorgeous morning. I'm going to stop talking about the weather and the scenery, though you can just watch it as I talk. This is a fantastic green screen, by the way. So anyways, moving forward for Sony, expect to see less platform exclusives and more Sony releases on other platforms. And speaking about platforms, next up we're talking about Digital Foundry. And if you're a fan of Digital Foundry, you may be really excited about this news. And if you're not a fan of Digital Foundry, you may be really excited about this news. I would say this is amazing news for the service now, the platform, the channel, whatever you want to call it. Because they say Digital Foundry leaves IGN. It's now fully independent. So here's the quote. Digital Foundry has parted ways with IGN, and we bought their shareholding in the business. What this means is that from now on, all aspects of DF are decided upon by DF. We answer to nobody but you, the audience. We are fully independent. We're proud of that. We think that it's the future of games media, but how far we push, how ambitious we want to be, well, that is where you come in. It's an exciting new chapter for Digital Foundry. And that was a very exciting thunder roll. I'm not gonna lie, when I'm editing this, I'm very curious to see what the mic picks up in terms of the thunder. Hopefully it's pretty epic. Anyways here, let me know your thoughts about Digital Foundry. I think this is amazing for the, I guess, new platform, and I really wish them the best of success. And speaking about success, next up here, we're talking about Hexen and Heretic on GOG. If you're a fan of Hexen and Heretic, you may have remembered them from back in the day, and I would say they were very successful. They have been re-released over on GOG, and they're also including all of the DLC. Now, it's worth noting, this is not exclusive to GOG. It's also available on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox. And they say here it includes the original episodes and 2 new episodes, online co-op and multiplayer, behind-the-scenes vault, community mods, accessibility options, and even more. For those who are wondering, Night Dive Studios is behind this one, and I don't know about you, but I did not see this one coming. Maybe there were some rumors out there about it, but I don't think I saw them. If you did, let me know in the comments below. But I would say here that this is a very nice surprise, and it was revealed during QuakeCon 2025, and yes, they're now available. And speaking about now available, next up we're talking about Gopher 64. And Gopher 64 is on a very hot release cycle. I mean, the developer is very active on this one. They just released version 1.1.3. Now, for those who may not be aware, Gopher 64 is a Nintendo 64 emulator, and it's the successor to Simple 64. Anyways here, version 1.1.3 brings about save state slots. They say save state slots are supported. Press Alt 0 to 9 to change which save state you are saving and loading from. On-screen messages, no more robotic Scottish voice. These will let you know when you change your controller pack, save or load a state, when cheats are enabled, etc. Small improvements to the controller selection drop-downs. Update to the latest versions of Rust and SDL. And using nearest filtering for final image rendering results in a sharper image. Gopher 64 is 100% free and open source, and if you wanted to learn more about it, again, like everything we talk about, links are in the description below at the bottom. And last up here, we're talking about Contraband, and if you were really looking forward to this game that was announced back in 2021, you're not going to like this news at all. It's being reported that Contraband is cancelled. So here's the announcement, and it's right up on Avalanche Studios' website. And it's titled, An Update on Contraband. Over the past several years, Avalanche Studios Group and Xbox Game Studios Publishing have collaborated on Contraband. Active development has now stopped while we evaluate the project's future. We're thankful for the excitement we've seen from the community since we announced, and we will give an update on what's next as soon as we can. That to me is not a promising announcement. Now, although that announcement says development has stopped, Jason Schreier over on Blue Sky is saying that Xbox has canceled Contraband. And this news arrives weeks after mass layoffs in which Xbox canceled several other big titles. Who knows what's going to happen with OD between Kojima and Xbox moving forward. Maybe that one will get canceled too, or maybe that one continues on. But I would say at the very least, OD is at risk. We're going to have to wait and see moving forward on this one as to what Microsoft may or may not stop next or cancel next. It just seems they can't stop canceling stuff, but who knows. Anyways here, it's very interesting overall, and I guess even the trailer for Contraband, the initial reveal trailer, was also taken down by Xbox. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. I was truly hoping to capture a fluff or two in this video. Unfortunately, the trail that I was on, there was a trail runner running way ahead of me. And when normally there's a lot of commotion on a trail, the animals scatter. So the trail runner, good for them for running on the trail, but bad for me for wanting to spot wildlife. It's a-okay, maybe we'll see some tomorrow, and I'm glad the rain has kind of let up a little bit so that I could continue on recording my video, but I do still think we're gonna get some rain soon. Anyways, we talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state. Well, I've got my camera put away. I've just got my phone out right now, but I can't believe it. That is a moose. Talk about an amazing wildlife spotting. Absolutely gorgeous and majestic fluff.